Good morning, class. My name is Mrs. Fola, so I'm going to be your facilitator for this week. And today's topic is handkerchief skirt. So, handkerchief skirt simply means a circular skirt with uneven hemline. So, when I say uneven hemline, it has angled hemline. Like, it's not your normal circle hemline that you normally have in your circle skirt. So that's why we call it uneven hemline, because it's asymmetrical, it's not balanced. Okay, so now let's go to what measurement will be needed to achieve your handkerchief skirt. So the measurements needed, you need your waist circumference, then you need your skirt length, and you need your radius to get the radius. So you're not going to work with the hip depth or other stuff. So I give a figure here. Waist circumference is 20 inches, the skirt length is 10 inches, and your radius is what we are going to get. So now the formula for to get your radius, you are going to use this formula here. C equals 2 pi r. Please don't be scared, it's a simple formula. C equals 2 pi r, whereby your C signifies your skirt waist circumference, which is 20, plus your zip allowance. So your zip allowance is going to be 2 inches. So you add it to it. 2 inches plus 20, that's 22 inches. So that is what you are going to use for your circumference. So as for the pi, your pi is standard. Your pi is 3.12, that's standard figure. Then your r, which signifies the radius, is what we are looking for. That's why I put a question mark there. So now, then the pattern needed, your paper needed, is the length plus your sewing allowance, which is going to be 1 inch, plus your radius. So after we have the radius, then we can sum them together to have our pattern paper. So let's go to the calculation. When I say my C equals, my C is 20 inches plus zip allowance. So my zip allowance is 2 inches. So which gives me 22 inches. Then my pi equals 3.12. So definitely our R is what we are looking for. So putting in place all these figures inside this formula. So that's going to be 22 equals 2 into brackets pi 3.12 times R, which we don't know the figure. So 22, 2 times 3.12 will give me 6.24 R. So using my my formula method in mathematics, 22, this comes over divided by 2, 6.24, which will give me my radius. So calculating this now will give me my radius. So this division gives me 3.5. So I'm going to use 3.5 as in place of my radius. So now the amount of pattern I'm going to need to cut my handkerchief skirt is going to be my length, and my skirt length is 10 inches plus 1 inch sewing allowance, then plus my radius. My radius is 3.5. So everything in total gives me 10, 11, 14.5 inches. So this is the amount of paper I'm going to need. So let me show you how you cut your paper. Okay, so I have my pattern paper right here and I want to cut 14.5 inches. So all you need to do is from the edge of the paper, measure 14.5 to this side, then 14.5 to this side, then 14.5 to this side, 14.5 to this side, so that you can cut out a perfect square pattern paper, like what I have that I'm holding, holding on the screen. So right now, after you've done cut this out from your main pattern paper, then you need to pick one angle, like one of the angle. You can pick this angle, or this angle, or this angle. Just pick one angle and measure your radius from there. So I'm going to take this on the board and show you how I'm going to measure my radius. So after which I have taped my pattern paper on the board, my radius is 3.5. So I'm coming to this tip right here. I'm placing my 0 at that point, then I'm measuring down 3.5. So you just mark 3.5, then you rotate to mark 3.5 because you must have your 3.5 even all around. So 3.5. So you can see I have my dots right there. Then you connect your dots with a curve. So I'm connecting this, then I'm connecting this to the other side. Like that. So this is my radius and I'm cutting it off. So this, my new curve line is going to be my waistline. So this is where you are going to use, this is where you are going to sew or attach your band to this part. So all you need now for the zip allowance, because everything is going to be on fold. So for the zip allowance, all you need to do is just slash one of the folds, slash it and use that place as your zip opening. So I'm going to show you how to place this pattern on your fabric, because your fabric you need to fold it into 4. So I'm going to show you the practical aspect of that. So right now, I'm going to cut this out. Another thing you need to know is before you cut it out, make sure you measure this circumference to be accurate, to make sure that you have your waist circumference plus your zip allowance. So now I have my handkerchief pattern. To place it on the fabric, I'm going to show you that right now. So right now I have my fabric here, and what I'm going to do now is to fold my fabric into 4. So from the edge of my fabric here, I'm going to measure, you know, our total length is 14.5. So I'm going to measure 14.5 like this, fold it into 2. Fold it into 2 equally. Then I come to this side, I measure 14.5 as well. Then I fold this part too into two, like that. So I have my fabric folded into four. I have my fabric folded into four. Then you can cut off this excess that you don't need anymore. You can cut it off. So after I've folded my fabric into four, the next thing is to take my pattern and place it. Place it on it so that I can use it to cut out my radius. So cutting out my radius. Can you see? Then I cut this excess off. Like that. So I have my skirts. Now, you know, I told you as for the zip allowance, because everything is on fold, you can see unfold, 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 unfold. So I need to open one part to fix my zip. So all you need to do is just pick one part and cut. So this open part is where I'm going to fix my zip. So as you can see, I have my handkerchief skirt. You can see the hem, like, it's not even at all. Some part has the angle and some part has the straight distance. So that is it for handkerchief skirt. So if you want the waist to have gathers, you can add to your circumference measurement. That is all you need to achieve your handkerchief skirt. And mind you, you can play with designs and styles with your handkerchief skirts. Thank you.